Hello, my name is Professor Hudson. You are about to view a narrated PowerPoint lecture on Chapter 4 and 5. Chapter 4 covers parts of the cell. Chapter 5 covers cell membranes. Let us begin. The sections to be covered in this narrated PowerPoint lecture include Section 4.1, What is Cell Theory? Section 4.2, What are basic attributes of cells? 4.3, What are the major features of eukaryotic cells? And 4.4, What are the major features of prokaryotic cells? We will begin with 4.1 and 4.2. Cell theory states that cells are the basic units of life. Three principles comprise cell theory. Every living organism is made up of one or more cells. The smallest organisms are single cells, and cells are the functional units of multicellular organisms. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. This is cell theory. Cell theory explains what we know and understand about cells. Most cells are very small. Most cells range in size from about 1 to 100 micrometers in diameter. Cells need to exchange nutrients and waste with the environment. No part of the cell can be too far away from the external environment. For this reason, the amount of surface area covered by the membrane of a cell must be greater than the interior volume contained by the membrane. So cells are typically very small in order to help them exchange nutrients and waste with the environment via the cell membrane. This slide shows several different types of cells and where they fall in terms of their size range and the type of microscope or equipment needed for viewing. Notice that the light microscope that we use in class can be used to view plant and animal cells, the human egg, a frog egg, some bacteria, and some organelles such as chloroplast and the nucleus. Most of the organelles that you will learn about in this chapter, however, cannot be viewed with the light microscope. In order to view viruses and proteins and amino acids and atoms, we need the electron microscope. As we mentioned previously, most cells are small. As a cell enlarges, its innermost parts get farther away from the plasma membrane. As the cell gets larger, diffusion, which is relatively slow, can take too long to supply important processes deep within the cell. And diffusion is the mechanism by which cells move materials in and out of the cell across the membrane. Because its volume increases more rapidly than its surface area, a larger cell has a relatively smaller area of membrane for acquiring nutrients and eliminating waste products than a smaller cell. By keeping the ratio of surface area to volume relatively high, this helps diffusion and osmosis to occur. This helps the cell efficiently move materials in and out across the plasma membrane. Because cells are small, microscopes are used to view cells. The compound light microscope is the microscope most commonly used. However, the transmission electron microscope and the scanning electron microscopes are microscopes that use electron beams to create an image of the organism being viewed. The electron microscopes are more powerful than the compound light microscope. The electron microscope has greater resolution. Of the three microscopes shown, the transmission electron microscope is the most powerful with the greatest resolution. This slide shows compound light microscope views of human skin cells and nerve cells. Note the dark circle inside of the skin cell. That dark circle is the nucleus. The nucleus contains the chromosomes. In our next lab, you will have the opportunity to prepare microscope slides of your cheek cells. They will look like the skin cells pictured above. All cells share common features. The plasma membrane is one feature. It encloses the cell and allows interaction between the cell and its environment. This structure is composed of lipids, proteins, and carbohydrate molecules. It regulates the passage of ions and molecules in and out of cells. It provides a barrier and plays a role in communication between the cells and the environment. All cells contain cytoplasm. The cytoplasm consists of all the fluid and structures that lie inside the plasma membrane but outside of the nucleus. The fluid portion of the cytoplasm is called the cytosol. It contains water, salt, and organic molecules. Most of the cell's metabolic activities occur in the cell cytoplasm, also known as the cytosol. All cells have DNA. All cells use DNA as a hereditary blueprint and RNA to copy the blueprint and guide the construction of cell parts. DNA is found in the nucleus. RNA can be found in the nucleus and cytoplasm. This figure shows the eukaryotic animal cell. Note the nucleus, which is the largest organelle in the cell. It contains DNA. All of the various cell parts are suspended in the cytoplasm. Animal cells have various organelles which perform specialized functions for the cell. Some animal cells possess centrioles, vesicles, and small vacuoles, and cilia, which are not found in plant cells. Vacuoles serve many functions, including water regulation, storage, and support. This figure shows the eukaryotic plant cell. Note, it also contains a nucleus. Plant cells have various organelles which perform specialized functions for the cells. Plant cells also have plastids and a large central vacuole not found in animal cells. The large central vacuole occupies 3/4 or more of the volume of most mature plant cells and has several functions. Central vacuoles provide support for plant cells, maintain water balance. They store hazardous waste, nutrients, or pigments. They provide turgor pressure on the cytoplasm to keep the cells rigid and help the plant remain upright. Plant cells have a cell wall which is not present in animal cells. When studying, please make sure you know all the organelles present in plant and animal cells and which ones are unique to each cell type. For example, plastids in the large central vacuole is unique to plant cells. Centrioles is an example of something that's unique to animal cells. This is a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells include bacteria. No, it doesn't have a nucleus, but it has a nucleoid, the region where the DNA is. While it does not have all the organelles that eukaryotic cells such as a plant and animal cell have, it does have a cell membrane. cytoplasm, and DNA. The focus of this lecture will be on the eukaryotic plant and animal cell. Prokaryotic cells such as bacteria will be discussed towards the end of this lecture. Let's review. Remember, for these questions that you see in the PowerPoint lecture, write down the letter for each question on a sheet of paper, as you will have to enter it in the lecture quiz on Blackboard. Question 1. Which structure regulates passage of molecules into and out of the cell? Choose the correct answer. Question 2. The plasma membrane performs all of the following functions except. Choose the correct answer. Question 3. Which is not an organelle of animal cells? Choose the correct answer. Let's continue with our discussion of cells. 4.2 covers what are the basic attributes of cells. There are two basic types of cells, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells form the bodies of organisms in the domain bacteria and archaea, the simplest forms of life. These cells lack a nucleus, but they still have DNA. Eukaryotic cells form the bodies of animals, plants, fungi, and protists. These cells have a nucleus.